I must confess, I lied. I'm actually not a fan of H3. Well, I used to be, but now I'm not. And that's almost the same thing. Did this annoy you a little bit? It's the exact kind of mental gymnastics Ethan Klein employs to be everybody's lapdog. It's my first time witnessing a pro-Palestine Israel meat rider. But honestly, this doesn't shock me at all. A popular YouTuber playing all sides to benefit from every pocket available? Who would have thought? In today's video, I'm gonna take a look at idubbbz, also known as Ian's content cop on H3. If you've never heard of me before, that's because it's literally only my second commentary video on YouTube. I kind of gave up on the idea of it, but I was on my way to work today on 17th April at like 6 a.m. in the year 2025 of our savior Donald Trump, and I absolutely started tweaking in the train when I saw this tweet. So I'm gonna do my best to be concise and clear with my points, but do bear with me if I seem all over the place or don't know how to structure this. It's my first reaction video. I'm only gonna speak about the points that interest me, and I'll link Ian's video in the description so you can watch it for yourself.
What we do here is go back.
I can't tell you how nostalgic the intro was. I swear it was like crack to me.
Wake up, Ethan. Wake up, Ethan. Ethan, wake up.
Wakey, Ethan. Wake up, Ethan. Wake up. Time to be awake, Ethan. Wake up, Ethan.
This is no longer a dream. This is a nightmare. Wake up.
Ethan, the dumb bitch is telling you to wake up. Wake up, Ethan. Wake up. Wake up, Ethan.
Ethan, wake up.
Wake up. Is anyone? Just wake up.
Wake up.
Wake up.
Wake up.
Wake up, Ethan.
I'm not gonna do a react content yet, chat.
I'm the same killer. Okay, let's stop running loose. Wake up. Ethan, wake up.
This segment had all my gobs smacked. I thought I'd clicked on a random Hassan Piker streams compilations or something. If I was aghast, I can only imagine the glorious crash out Ethan is going to display watching all the people he's beefing with trash on him Avengers Assemble style. By the way, you have to boycott Marvel's stupid Captain Israel or whatever kind of film they're making right now. I don't know the name. Boycott.
In 2016, I would have been like, oh yeah, if I ever do that, it's gotta be because I lose the plot. Well, it turns out it's not me losing the plot, it's Ethan. He's the one who fucking attacked first.
My good fucking friends who I stood by after all these fucking years can't find a spine to speak up.
So go fuck yourself.
I agree.
So, Ian starts off by explaining his silence and his thoughts behind why he thinks H3 is upset with him.
It's all culminated, at least for my story, in Ethan burning bridges with people until he burned the bridge with me. Since Ethan and Hassan's falling out, I've been keeping to myself mostly. I don't have many nice things to say. Maybe if Ethan's able to get some help, maybe if he stops harassing other creators, maybe if he does these things, eventually he'll find peace and we can like rekindle our friendship.
I respect his choice to give Ethan grace due to past loyalties. If you spend the greater part of your content creation time crashing out, yelling obscenities, overtly and covertly supporting a genocidal state, all the while claiming to not do so, I honestly wouldn't be as kind as Ian is. Maybe I'm just a hater though, so that's there.
Could you not say something when this is like, imagine like one of you guys is like, Hassan actually wants to go to Israel, go to Gaza so he can strangle Israeli babies or some shit like that. I'd be like, imagine me not saying something.
You're trying to make a one-to-one comparison where there isn't one. This guy that I follow on Twitter is not in the same relationship as you and one of your current employees who is streaming with you 3 days a week, 3 hours a day for the past 10 years.
The one-to-one comparison Ian is speaking of is called a strawman fallacy. A quick Google search takes you to this definition. A strawman fallacy is a form of logical fallacy or reasoning error. Fallacies are statements or arguments that might sound reasonable or true but are actually flawed and therefore can be deceptive. A strawman fallacy occurs when someone distorts their opponent's argument by oversimplifying or exaggerating it, for example, and then refutes this new version of the argument, called a strawman argument. So essentially, he's fighting demons that are not there.
Also, I don't mind putting my friend Olivia, who's apparently my real friend, in a terribly weird, fucking uncomfortable situation where you end up getting hate for no reason.
Also, don't frame it as like other people making it hard on Olivia. You're making it hard on all of these people. Please acknowledge your role in this whole fucking thing.
In my opinion, Ethan's crew have to be in some sort of Stockholm Syndrome hostage situation type deal. Because in what world and which job are you okay with your boss crashing out every day? Imagine going back home for holidays and your 90-year-old great aunt is bringing out the turkey and going, "What's your boss done this time?"
Of course I was going to stand by you. That's insane. It's absolutely insane and disgusting. But now you choose to hang out with people that would have a problem with you if you defended me.
I'm not going to assume that Hila knows, but I'll say it for anyone who doesn't know. Anissa is half Lebanese and half Irish. For anyone unfamiliar, the Irish have been on the receiving end of a lot of oppression and genocide. On the part of the Lebanese, they've received a lot of oppression and attacks from the IDF. So Anissa is very well familiar with the propaganda and the shit coming out of Israel. Choosing now, out of all the times, to be like, please defend me. No, we're not going to fucking defend.
I actually wasn't aware that Anissa is half Lebanese and Irish. Holy shit.
For all you know, I'm seeing these things tweeted out by my editor of a year and a half ago and saying, God, that is nasty. I'm just not going to throw someone away because they're having a parasocial weird moment. Just like I'm not going to throw Ethan Klein away because he's having a parasocial weird crash out.
How many women I fucked? Hassan, by the way, thousands. Yeah, thousands. Let me ask Galia. These shoes do not go. I'm sorry. Oh my God. Hassan's the type of dude who watches himself in the mirror when he has sex.
Watching me on a 30-second delay on your stream.
Wait, that's what I'm... Wait, how does he know I'm watching already?
Because you've been talking about it for the last 5 minutes.
It's not a fucking petty beef. It's like, this guy is evil and he's doing anti-Semitism. These shoes do not go. I'm sorry.
There are many people, I'm sure, who have unfollowed you for the things that you've said and done. And I'm sure there are even more people who have stayed following you because they don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. They don't want to throw someone away because they've had some hard moments. We're all fucking human.
I see the point that Ian is trying to make here, but I respectfully disagree. I do not think people should be given a pass for crash outs and clout chasing. If that was your entire brand, like Amber Lynn Reid, for example, to be a troll, I would understand, but not support it. But if you're like Ethan, seriously trying to have your politics taken with anything more than a grain of salt, you can't be crying, shaking, throwing up at every slight pushback you receive.
I've probably done and stood by idubbbz and Anissa more than anybody. I've stood by them when all the internet hated them.
I don't like that Ethan brought this up because it makes the relationship feel very transactional. Like, you know, we're just meant to support each other online despite our own personal morals or principles.
Yes, it is transactional. I do think most friendships are inherently transactional, but perhaps the effect is elevated and more critical in content creator friendships. I doubt many friendships can survive the kind of public scrutiny and criticism the way Ethan gets for his tweaking out at every little thing anybody does. It's like he's desperate to be upset, so he's gonna find anything he can to instigate that feeling of rage in him. In another news, Ethan's obsession with Hassan needs to be studied. Like, I need Ethan's brain to be dissected under fluorescent lights in a poorly funded laboratory with an underpaid lab tech who skipped lunch again. To me, Ethan gives off very big dick, competition, frat boy vibes. He would never dream to punch above his weight. Even though Hassan has always been above his weight, Ethan still seems to think that he holds the reins in all his arguments with and about Hassan, and that he still retains some semblance of credibility in the YouTuber sphere when that couldn't be further from the truth.
So here's the button. You've got a video and you've got an audio. We're hitting both.
Yes.
There's no point.
Let's leave.
Yeah, there's no need.
Yeah.
I don't. But shit, like, how pathetic are you? Don't worry if you don't have it all now. I don't like pedophile. But the eye of Sauron. I see you. I see you out there, you fucking cockroach. You'll be living with your parents for a lot longer, buddy. Yes, please. I want to be a good Jew. I'm a good Jew. Please, guys, please.
That was fine. Yeah, I don't think it was that.
That was fine.
Big a deal. Of all the things.
Anywho.
It always surprises me what you think crosses the line.
Well, I looked at Olivia and she's like, yes, do it.
The button montage was glorious. On that note, though, I find it crazy that instead of investing some time into formulating thoughts, before opening his mouth like literally everybody else, Ethan would rather let people see him fucking up in real time. To me, this is crazy. For someone who's so painfully aware and obsessed with how he is perceived, he sure as hell doesn't seem to care how he comes off as.
Also, the H3 community and Ethan himself use the phrase goblin mode all the time to excuse a lot of his shitty behavior or make it seem less.
Honestly, the goblin mode thing is so cringe. It's giving Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star so bad. Every time Ethan gets caught doing something absolutely abhorrent or vile, it's actually not him. It's his multiple personalities, fifth version Sabra Hummus mascot that's speaking like that. Like, come on. Be so freaking for real.
It's bad.
I've been diagnosed with goblin mode, actually.
By claiming that what happens is he just gets into this like uncontrolled state he refers to as goblin mode.
I do not call myself goblin mode.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes, you did.
Goblin mode? Is that what you're calling Tourette's now?
Wow, another straw man with the Tourette's thing. Ethan, come on. I'm begging you. I know you can do better. I know it.
The one time the button didn't work and we listened to how he spoke to AB without thinking that the internet was going to hear it, it was rude, it was nasty, and it didn't have this caveat of like, I'm not mad at you. It was anger, and it was uncalled for.
Use they get access to cover most of it.
Doing it.
What are you
It's so
doing?
awkward and terrible.
I'm sorry, I'm not.
Just like, this is what I'm talking about when it's always like...
We need to get home for our kids.
It's like, bro.
Oh no, I didn't want to finish it right now. I'm not finishing Wednesday.
Friday. Is it?
You guys, like,
All right, I'm taking my hand off.
yeah.
What? Okay, well,
Heard all that.
thanks, Button.
And he didn't want to take accountability for it. He immediately wanted to deflect, and he wanted to say that the button fucked him.
First of all, I appreciate the hard work.
I know
you've
you
done,
do.
and I loved it, and I really enjoy it. But it's like every time we do it, it's like the show is what it is, and
I know.
it makes it.
I was being selfish.
No, dude, that button f***ed me, dude. Like, can you imagine that button f***ing me over like that?
The button fucked you? AB fucked you? Who fucked you? You fucked yourself by being an asshole. He makes it seem like he's not a tyrant of a boss.
We're doing it.
What are you
It's so
doing?
awkward and terrible. I appreciate the hard work.
I know
you've
you
done,
do.
and I loved it, and I really enjoyed
AB, my brother, you can do so much better. I know you feel indebted to him. I know he gave you what you think is another shot at life, another shot to make it. But at what point do you feel like it is not worth it? At what point do you realize that you are disrespected, demeaned, and definitely undervalued in a place like this? At what point do you realize that it's time to leave? I'm sure that thought has crossed your mind. In fact, I feel like people would support you even more if you just came out and did your own thing, because the longer you stay with Ethan, the worse it looks for you and Lena. Anyways, that was just a little segue. It was totally not important, but I felt like I needed to say that. Ian then goes into more detail about the Ethan Hassan pipeline. We've been hearing about that for the past year and a half. Aren't you tired? Because I am.
Oh, another thing I need to mention. There was a tier list. It was called the Who Can Say Habibi tier list.
Then the Habibi tier list drama. Honestly, I couldn't be arsed about it, so I'm just going to skip that. And has a quick little chat with Psychology in Seattle, another YouTuber, about rating Ethan's apology and if he would possibly consider changing that score based on current events. Plot twist, he doesn't. Towards the end, Ian does something interesting and asks Ethan's critics to say something nice about him.
In the spirit of Kirk saying that it looks like Ethan could just use a hug, I have challenged some of his most powerful haters to put down the haterade and just say something nice and charitable about him, because I think he deserves it.
I just wanted to say that I respect that you are genuinely yourself on the internet. I think a lot of other people respect you for it as well. I think that's a big reason why people were drawn to your content in the first place. I think that's a lot of the reason why your employees chose to work with you over anyone else.
Ethan, I think it's respectable that you even began this journey to leave behind the anti-SJW crowd and step into a more empathetic worldview. I know it's not easy.
Ethan Klein, I think that when you are being goofy, when you're being silly, when you are being lighthearted, and just having fun with your friends, I think that is when you're at your best. So I'd love to see more of that. That'd be sick.
I will be reading my letter off because I don't want to sound robotic. H3 used to be the sports figure that I used to watch. I hope that one day gets back to what I remember. You were one of the inspirations for me to start creating content, so all this has stung. I hope you really hear this, and I wish you the best.
I think Ethan Klein rocks a buzz cut pretty good, and I think he's got a good choice of facial hair. I think it's really cool what he did 8 years ago, fighting that frivolous lawsuit. That was pretty fucked up, and fighting it, he changed YouTube for the better. And I thought that was cool because I thought it was like he was fighting for free speech.
I also see the dynamic of Ethan and Neil. I'm like, fuck, like
it's really hard to be a couple online and see people attacking your partner, and it's like, okay, like if you come to their defense, that doesn't always help them, right? Sometimes that makes it worse for them.
And I have been kind of slipping into a very unhealthy place where it's gotten worse and worse, and I get criticized more and more, and I get more defensive and more pulled up, a feeling of almost infallibility that I could take anything on. It led me to make a lot of mistakes, and then when I was criticized for those mistakes, then I would act extremely defensive and nasty and not really processing them in a healthy way.
And would you have it? Some of them were kind of wholesome. Would I personally humanize Ethan that much? Probably not, but perhaps the dynamic is different when you used to be friends with someone and then you had a falling out. And that's the end of the video. I have a lot of thoughts, obviously, but I am struggling to compile them properly. This content got after almost a 7-year gap, I think, from the last one. Don't quote me on this. It felt so measured and calm. It seemed like Ian truly wanted to have a conversation with Ethan, and this was the only way he knew how to. As for me, I'm in the business of writing strongly worded letters, so I don't forgive or forget easily. No, Ethan is irresponsible, brash, uncouth, verbally abusive, and behaving in a manner that is so erratic that I find it hard to believe that his crew still stays with him. Remember this, folks. All aggression in your presence eventually finds itself directed at you. And that's my final thoughts. I hope it was obvious, but if it wasn't, I am pro-Palestine. I always have been, always will be. I've linked a few GoFundMes in the description for families in Gaza trying to escape bombardment, hoping to provide their children a safe passage in lives. I am not affiliated with these fundraisers in any way, so obviously I do not gain anything monetarily. This channel isn't even monetized yet, so rest assured that all your donations go directly to those in need. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe for more videos on crash outs. I'm planning an Amber Lynn Reid video. I want to join the girl world, so I hope you stay tuned for it. Take care, stay safe, and free Palestine.